Well, hi, everybody, and good Wednesday, and welcome into the Brownwood Lions Coaches Show. We are joined by Lions head football coach, athletic director Sammy Burnett. We have a special guest we're going to introduce in just a few minutes, our player of the week, as you announced on Monday. And we will visit with Conlon here in just a couple of minutes. Coach, how are you?
Man, Carl, I'm so good, I can't stand it. 3 good days of practice, Hayes in the barn, roll over to West Texas over there somewhere around Midland and play Greenwood. I'm excited about the opportunity.
Now, do you know how to get to the Greenwood Stadium?
Yeah, you get on the interstate and you look to the right, I think.
Actually, if you're on the interstate, it's on the left.
That's what I said, Carl.
That's what he said, y'all.
You look to the left. we have other guys that run the GPS department. Yeah. They know not to let me do that.
I was there. I did an Albany game there.
It's on the left, really?
It is. It's south of Midland a little bit.
You know how many times I've been through Midland and never looked to the left to see a stadium? It's over there by the airport or something? No, it's this.
There's an exit you take, and it goes back and then back left, and it goes right to the school and the stadium. You got to find out what exit that is. So you got to
get off the interstate and turn left and go under it?
Right.
No, you said left.
Well, see, I've already been confused this morning.
I'll find it.
Just put your GPS in. Greenwood High School, and the stadium is right there. It's a nice stadium.
Yeah. It's sort of like the Lubbock Cooper is the Lubbock ISD. You got Lubbock, all the Lubbock schools, and then Cooper is actually its own ISD sitting outside of Lubbock, about 10 miles. Greenwood's about the same. It
is. Nice stadium. So everybody get your tickets, which are online, I believe.
Yep, make sure you go to Brownwood ISD. The best way to do it, go to brownwoodisd.org/athletics. There's a link on there that you can click to get tickets. And while we're on that topic, anytime we play a road game, varsity, JV, freshman, the best thing to do is go to brownwoodisd.org, click on /athletics, click on it. And then if there is a link to purchase tickets, it'll be on there because most everybody is doing some sort of online ticketing. Even though maybe you have the ability to go to the game and click on your phone where they do that, however they click on it and take a picture and then you can pay right there. But everything has to be paid with cards nowadays. Most people aren't taking cash. We are. We're one of the few that are doing that. But I just want to get out. If we have a road game, sub-varsity, junior high, high school at any level, girls, doesn't matter. I think the first thing you can do to make it easy for you is to go to brownwoodisd.org/athletics and check to see if a link has been put up for you to purchase tickets. If you can't find that information, sure, call the office and Lisa will give you the information needed. But that's sort of the way that everybody's going right now. We're a little different. We're still taking cash and that kind of stuff at sub-varsity games, but most everybody's not doing it. So to save yourself a little headache, I think that's the best way to initiate purchasing tickets.
All right, there you go. And don't forget this week's game's at 7 o'clock, not 7:30. So we're going to start our pregame a little bit earlier. We'll talk about the Brownwood Lions in a moment, but let's scout the Greenwood Rangers. Had a tough loss against a very good top 10 Estacado team last week. Played them pretty well. So what do you see from the Rangers?
They're good up front. I think their defensive line is good. They're a 4-man front. They run a 4-2-5, which is different than what we saw last week. We faced an odd front, so our kids been working on the even front. I think their linebackers played well. They understand what they're doing defensively, schematically. They understand how to play their schemes, and they do a good job of that. On the offensive side, they used to be an under-center team, like to toss the ball, run the cutback, run the sweep, run the lead, run the counters. They love pull and kick. They love pull and seal. They like that kind of stuff, so they're a block-down, kick-out kind of team. They've gone away from under-center as much. They got a quarterback. The Flowers kid is a good quarterback. I know his grandfather and his dad, actually, Tim and Ronnie, good people, but he is their quarterback, and he's a tall kid, and he can sling it. So they're actually getting in some tight end stuff, but yet they're getting in some 2x2s and 3x1s, and they're in the gun to allow him to, sort of feature his tools because he is a kid that can throw the football around. And but yet when in their run game stuff, it's still just like they were under center. Their linemen cut off the ball hard, like Salado does, that type of team. That's what they're ingrained to do. So they're pretty physical up front and got a good running back, got a great quarterback, got some good receivers. So we're going to have to go out there and play our game and do what we do. I mean, one of their defensive lineman, defensive tackles, used to be on the offensive side. He was 320 pounds, I think, but has lost a bunch of weight. He's playing tight end for him now and plays all over the defensive line, but he is a good-looking kid. His name is Rolando Rodriguez, I think, but he's a good football player, number 42. So they're a very well-coached team. Coach Purser does an amazing job with them, very disciplined. You're going to have to beat them. They're not going to beat themselves usually. So we'll have our hands full, but, we don't worry about that kind of stuff. We worry about what we do and what we need to fix and how we need to grow into becoming a master of our position so that we can help our team be successful. And our kids have had a great week of workout. I'm excited about it. We matured, I think. I mean, there wasn't any dragging. I mean, we got out there and got after it, and I think we got better.
Mm-hmm. I do too. How's the health of the team? It seemed like everybody came out pretty healthy.
Not bad. We have our nicks and bruises. Collins had finger issues, bruised hand, issues that he's dealt with. We have that going around. But, Ezra Dillard, I know, had a hyperextended knee and then had a twisted ankle on the same foot. So he's gimping around a little bit, but he's a hard-working kid, and he's a grinder. He can handle that pain, so he's been working through that. But other than the nicks and bruises, we're actually really healthy.
Oh, man, looking forward to it. 7 o'clock at Midland Greenwood. Lions trying to go to 2-0 on the season, and looking forward to that. Before we get to Conlon here in just a moment, I know we've got some other results from yesterday, last night.
Volleyball went over to Clyde and played a dual match with Idalou and Clyde, and got reports about 10-something that they came back with a win over both Idalou and Clyde in 3 sets. So congratulations to the volleyball team and Coach Smith. Man, they're doing an amazing job. I'm excited to see what they do in district. We got a tough district, so I'm excited to see how well we match up. It's a two-round thing, so you get a good feel of your opponents the first round. Hopefully you can get a win by the second round. Maybe you're rocking and rolling, and maybe they can come up with a district championship this year. So girls are working really hard. Proud of them. Cross country going on right now. We did the high school division went this morning, and the junior high started at 4:30. So hopefully we'll have some information on that come Monday. Coach Parker and Coach Neely running that thing off. So outstanding meet from them, and people like to come do it. So I'm excited to see how we did in that one.
All right, what else do we have coming up the rest of the week?
We have. I do want to say we did pick up a combined white game at Goldthwaite. That's going to be at 5 o'clock on Thursday. So our combined white team will go to Goldthwaite at 5 o'clock. Thursday, our freshman maroon team will play Midland Greenwood at Gordonwood Stadium at 4:30, and then our JV will follow that game, and that's somewhere around 6:37. I know it says 7 on the schedule, but it's somewhere around there when they get finished and get started. So if you're not sure, get there a little early, watch the end of the freshman game if you don't watch the whole game, and then pick up and watch that JV play. And then, of course, on Friday, our volleyball team's traveling to Godley and playing over there. JV freshmen play at 5 o'clock, varsity plays at 6, and then, of course, we'll travel to Midland and play Greenwood on Friday night at 7 o'clock.
All right, looking forward to that. And then we're back on the road next week again, back-to-back road
Go
games.
to China Springs, that's correct.
Yes, sir. All right, well, this past Monday, you announced our inaugural Player of the Week.
First ever.
Yeah, first ever, brought to you by Triple T Grill, Player. Looky there.
That's pretty
Isn't that
fancy.
cool
Stars,
right there?
pretty fancy.
Man, I love that. So why don't you introduce this young man, then we'll visit with him for a few minutes.
Sure. Everybody knows Conlon Anderson. He plays running back for us. Could play outside linebacker for us if we wanted him to, but we try to keep him one-sided right now, especially this time of year because of conditioning. You got to get in game shape, which honestly takes 3 or 4 weeks into the season to truly get there, and he's carrying the ball 35, 40 times a game is our goal. Then we need to make sure that he is able to do that. So we prefer to put him on one side of the ball right now. A hard-working young man, works hard in the weight room. I think that's evident with his lower body strength. He's a great squatter. Does a lot of weight in everything he does, but that sort of compounded him to be the type of back he is. I think he's a powerful running back. I think you got to witness that on Friday. I said that, but I think it's his debut moment for people to really see the kind of back he is. I mean, he's a hard-working young man, does good in the classroom. You don't have to tell him to run his sprints. You don't have to tell him to work hard in the weight room. He's just a grinder, and it's enjoyable to see him do what he did against the team that he did against, the team that prides itself on stopping the run. for him to go out and get 286 yards, I thought was special. But to see, like I told y'all, what you'll notice is his yards after contact. You're not going to bring him down with one person. You better have a good, clean hit to get that done. He's going to fall forward for at least 2 or 3 every time, and he may break that one and go get 6 or 7 more. But I don't know what his yards after carry was, but he had 286 yards on 35 carries, which is 8.17 yards per touch. That's pretty good as a carrier for a play caller to be able to call a play on 2nd down and 1.3. That's pretty good. So our first inaugural Triple T Grill Player of the Week, Conlon Anderson.
All right, I'm going to let you switch the mic over there, and we'll visit with Conlon here for a few moments. First off, Conlon, thanks for being here. Congrats on a big night the other night.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Of course, you were part of our post-game interview with Michael too, and you gave a lot of scoops. What's the word I'm looking for? You gave a lot of props to your offensive line. They did a great job the other night.
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you buy him a new gold watch or anything after the game?
No.
That's what Emmett did.
He got money.
He has a little bit money in Collins.
Yeah. Your offensive line did a yeoman's job, but he mentioned yards after contact. I know you had the long 66-yard run, but I would say it's probably around 200 yards or so after contact. I mean, talk about when you're carrying that football, what's your mindset when you get the ball?
You just got to go hit them before they hit you.
Hit them before they hit you. That's basically what you did. So who do you emulate? Who do you watch, maybe either college or pro football, that you kind of maybe tailor your running style after?
Right now, like Saquon Barkley, just Derrick Henry, just some big guys.
I could see a little Derrick Henry in that. He kind of, he's got a little speed, but he's got some power too. What about some old school guys? You ever go back and watch people like Earl Campbell and some of those old films?
I watch some highlights like Bo Jackson, Earl Campbell.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
They're just run over you too type runners right there. So what is your goal each time you go out there to the football field? I know you had the 286 yards, 35 carries. So what are you thinking before the game? Do you set your own goals or something that you want to do?
I don't really set personal goals, but I just want to get the win, obviously.
35 carries, that's probably got to be maybe a record for you personally.
Yes, sir.
All right. You played, of course, you played varsity last year, got a few carries, and did a great job as well. And of course, freshman football, but you never had that many carries in a game before.
No, sir.
All right. By the way, Conlon wears number 2 this year on your program. So you had a pretty good backup, too. Jalen Brown came in and spelled you a little bit. He ran the ball well.
Yes, sir. He did pretty good.
And then Chance Jones, the quarterback, ran the ball. So you're pretty excited about this offense, I
Yes, sir. I think we're going to be pretty good.
Yeah, no doubt. And, of course, they've got some great receivers. And you've got a fellow junior there, Jason Jackson, who's doing some big things.
Yes, sir.
All right. But yeah, absolutely. So what's the mindset for this week going into Midland Greenwood? What have you seen from their defense?
I don't really know, but just get the win is the mindset.
Just give me the ball and let me carry it, Coach. Give me the ball. Put me in, Coach.
Yes,
all right. Well, Conlon, congratulations on being our first ever. And we've been doing this Brownwood Coaches Show for like 142 years.
Right about the time you were born.
And you are the thanks, Coach. You are the first ever Player of the Week. How does that feel?
It feels pretty good. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again for being here, Conlon. Good luck. We'll be watching this Friday night.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Of course, his twin brother, Dryden, is one of our starting linebackers on defense. Y'all get along pretty good, by the way?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. Do y'all do any one-on-one drills at home or anything?
In the summer, we do some one-on-ones.
Do you really?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. You take him, though, don't you?
It goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Good answer right there. Thank you again, Conlon, and congrats. I love the way that he's humble and gives a lot of credit to his offensive line.
Yeah, I don't know if he saw it on film, but I watched film over and over and over and over, and I went back yesterday morning and watched our game film again to see if I was seeing what I could see that someone else could tip off on. But when Conlon busted, I was going to say pop, the play we call it is pop. So when he busted that play and went to the house for about 60-some, the one running down the field cheering him on was his brother.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
That's pretty cool right there, no doubt. All right, and of course, Dryden is our backup running back too, so he may get a few carries.
Yeah, he's one of those that, that we try to leave on the other side of the ball as well. We have the potential this year to not have to have as many carryover offensive, defensive carryover guys, which there's two ways to think about it. You want your best athletes on the field, which we have them on there, but we want them on the field the whole quarter, and our MO is we're going to wear you out in the fourth quarter, so we got to be fresh to do that. And if we have the ability to do that, we're going to. And I told you, we're going to be committed to the run. And as long as Colin keeps performing the way he does behind an offensive line that is performing better than I think we have since I've been here, we're going to pound the rock, and we're going to prove. You're going to have to prove to us that you can stop it. Yeah. And when we need to throw it, it opens up our play action game because those linebackers are trying to play run pass, and my MO has always been you can't play run pass against us. You can play one, but you can't play the other. So we start running the football and they start collapsing to get back in the box. We're going to pull our RPOs and throw off of the outside backer reads and things like that. If we start throwing the quick screens outside or the hitches or whatever, and we start gaining yards that way, and they start widening those linebackers, and we're going to hand the ball to Connor and let him do our thing. So as long as we're able to run the football like we were the other night, it sets up everything we do from play action to RPOs to bootlegs. Safeties playing in the box, we can get over the top of you. So everything I said, we've said from the get-go, it's all predicated off our run game. If you're not able to run the football, you're in trouble. So with his ability to do that, if he continues to do that, he's going to help his team be successful, not only by moving the ball and scoring touchdowns, but it also opens up our entire offense.
Boy, there's no doubt you can be pass happy and pass all you want, but unless you have a running game, you're not going to be real successful, and that's what we have. And you look at those great Cowboys teams and the great running game they had, opened up those passing lanes, and that's what it takes.
Let me ask you,
yes,
Carl,
sir.
who were your favorite two running backs when you were young?
When I was young, well, you know what? In high school, I loved Walter Payton, Sweetness. Man, Walter Payton was great, but I think before that, Larry Zonka was one of my favorites.
Really?
Oh, I loved to watch Larry Zonka carry. He was just a bull.
I like those two guys as well. I always admired Walter Payton.
Yeah.
But he was a Chicago Bear, man. I tell you, I was a diehard Cowboy fan, still am. I'm a lover of Tony Dorsett in a big way. Yeah. I liked Robert Newhouse.
Yeah.
I thought he was a stud. And I love me some Earl Campbell. Boy, golly, the Tyler Rose. That was a football playing jack.
Man, Earl was fun to watch. Of course, I go back a little bit old school. If you're talking Cowboys, Calvin Hill was the first 1,000-yard rusher.
Yeah, he was good.
He was so tall and was a hurdler. He could just leap over everybody.
Yeah, and you know, I guess I lean towards Earl because he's a Texas boy. Yeah. He was born and raised in Tyler, Texas. Went to University of Texas and played for the Houston Oilers forever until they got retarded and traded him to the Saints. I mean, that was about dumb.
Yeah, I know that, but he was fun to watch.
I got to go to San Angelo. Matter of fact, I still have those pictures where my mother took me and my brothers and sister, and my little brother wasn't even born yet. We went over to San Angelo when they practiced all the spring training over there, and Earl Campbell stayed there and let us take pictures, and he was a big human being.
Yeah, nice guy too, though.
Extremely nice guy.
He was really nice. There's a guy that lives around here that was the Oilers trainer back in those days, Gary Walton.
Oh, yeah?
You know, he supervised also for many years, but he took me back one day and said, I was a trainer for the Oilers in the late 70s, 80s. He was showing me pictures of he and Earl and Pastorini and all of those guys.
I worked with a guy, Bob Pearl, just passed away not long ago, that was a trainer at the University of Texas when Earl Campbell was running back there. So he always had stories to tell me about Earl Campbell and University of Texas. But as a young kid, you're so impressed. You know what my favorite commercial was? Back in the day, they used to do commercials with snuff and all that kind of stuff. Right. And Earl Campbell did one, and all the commercial did was he'd take that snuff can, and he'd stick his finger there, and he'd put this big old dip in his mouth, and he'd go, "Skull, brother." That was it, man. I still know it. And guess what I started doing? Dipping snuff. Earl, come on, Earl.
I do remember that commercial, as a matter of fact.
Brother.
You know what's funny, though? I went to 2 UT games while he was playing, but he missed both games. He was a junior for an injury. One was Tech, and I think the other was Baylor. And I didn't ever get to see Earl in college play football, but he was
special.
Man, no doubt about that. All right, man, great stuff, great memories. Anything else today, Coach?
Yeah, I just want to mention again, as we said it before, Mike Perry, guy that I played with, former Brownwood line, passed away at an early age of 51 of pancreatic cancer, and I'm sad to say that we've lost another one, Thomas Joshua.
Yeah.
great football player for Brownwood. I think Thomas was in his 40s, 41.
Yeah.
Died way too young, so I pray that you be with his family, his friends. Once a Lion, always a Lion, and I'll never forget driving into town one day as a young coach. I don't know why I was off, but I was coming home, and they were doing a powerlifting meet, and Thomas Joshua was squatting 700 plus. I mean, he was a phenomenal guy. Great football player. Coach Jones was blessed with the opportunity to coach him, but gone from this world too quick. So prayers for his family.
Boy, he was quite a legend. Ask anybody about his playing days, Dallas or anybody, and man,
He was a
big
player.
offensive lineman, and he was.
And better than that, he was a good person. People loved him.
Yeah, of course, he was at Walmart. Had just made, I think, assistant manager, and sadly passed away this past Saturday night. As a man, he blocked for guys like Hut Allred and some of those guys. And I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, Coach, good show today. Anything else?
Yeah, I just thank those that make this show possible. Auto Glass Magic, Avalon Custom Homes, Brenner Auto Group, Syntex Body and Paint, Syntex Equipment Sales, Citizens National Bank, Dan Hill Containers, Dr. Bon Young, Dr. Pepper Bottling Company, Edward Jones Investments, Hendrick Medical, Howie Enterprises, Humphrey Pete's, Landmark Life, MC Bank, Painter Johnson Associates, Smith & Sharp Agencies, Sonic Drive-In, Stanley Chrysler, Texas Bank, Weldon Wilson Electric, Western Bank, Willie's Teas. And once again, thanks Triple T for picking up the sponsorship for us to be able to do a Player of the Week.
And we'll do it again this Monday after the Greenwood game, 7 o'clock at Midland, Greenwood. Coach, thank you as always. Appreciate all that you do.
Well, yeah, go ahead, Conlon. See if you can be the first back-to-back recipient.
Okay.
There's you go.
That's the goal right there.
Make it so difficult that no one else can get it.
If you do, Coach said you could split that with him.
That's right.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
You bet. Have a great day, Brownwood.
Brownwood Lions head football coach, athletic director Sammy Burnett here on the Coaches Show every Monday and Wednesday here on KOXC 101.3 and video streamed at KOXC.com.